What up, Gacha gang? Today we are talking about Pocket Incoming, which is basically just a ripoff of a Pokemon game, but done a lot better than any other Pokemon game I've actually seen. Now, the score may not reflect that specifically, but we'll talk about that here in a second. Anyways, first things first, you and me, we got beef because you're probably not subscribed based off the statistics that I see behind the scenes. So you know what? Instead of just fighting you flat out, let's play rock, paper, scissors. That seems fair. I'm not gonna beg, I'm gonna challenge you, okay? Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. If you lost, you got to sub. If you won, sub anyways. Did that work? Okay, guys, the important thing to remember with these here rankings is that a 5 is considered average. Anything above a 5 is a game that I think that I would recommend to you to at least try out to see if it fits your niche. But if you're not a gacha gamer, then you know what? I would probably say anything above a 7 would be good to get you into the category. With that being said, if something ends up being a 5, that just kind of means it's industry average. It's not a 7, okay? I know that's confusing to all you Americans like myself, where a 7 out of 10 is passing and a 5 out of 10 is failing, but not in this case. A 5 means it's average, it's passable, it's something that you really won't hold you back. With that being said, today we're going over graphics, story progression, gameplay uniqueness, monetization, and community of this here Pocket Incoming game. Now, Pocket Incoming is really odd because you can't really find it on the iOS under the name. They very much know that this game would be illegal based off the iOS standings, and it goes under the name Path of Awake. Path of Awake looks like a completely different game when you go check it out, but hey, it is Pocket Incoming once you load it up. So the first thing we gotta talk about is the graphics of this game. It is a Pokemon game, so it has all of the charm that Pokemon generally brings table, and honestly, it's pretty daggone good. It's probably better than any Pokemon game I've seen from a graphics point of view. I mean, the animations are actually stupendous. So considering it takes all of the things I like about Pokemon and then takes it to the next level, I'm gonna put it here at an 8. Now, the reason why I'm not putting it higher is because, well, it's 2D, and they're not really trying to do much more than those one animations with it. They're not really trying to tell you a story or anything like that with the animation, so they're not going out of their way to give this 2D life. Speaking of story, I gave it a 5. There is a story there. It kind of comes off like a Pokemon game. It's whatever. I mean, let's be honest, the majority of you are just going to skip anyways, so I put it at a 5 because it doesn't get in the way of the game. Most of the time you don't even recognize it's there. They're not really trying to make it the selling point of the game. So because of that, and because they recognize what it is, we're going to slot it at a 5. It's just average. It's whatever. Now, progression, this is a lot of tried and true methods of the gacha system. It is the classic, you need dupes, you need all of these things, you need all of these materials to get up to the next tier, you need to awaken your heroes to evolve them, all of these sorts of things, all of the progression systems that we're all used to in terms of gacha games. And honestly, guys, it's that way because it is the most fun. They're not bringing a ton of new things to the table, but I feel like the gameplay itself adds to the progression because when you're making these decisions, it doesn't really feel like you're shoveling all of your resources into one thing like you would do in every other gacha game. Here you're actually trying to make out a team. Getting something super advanced doesn't truly help you because you're kind of handicapped by the amount of days that you play, because your daily experience is where you get the bulk of your experience. So the gameplay actually helps the progression. The progression is stagnated in a way to where you can't really get too far ahead of the pacing that they want to set for you, and it enables you to actually build out a couple of Pokemon so you have more choices as you move forward. I really like the progression system and how it synergizes with the gameplay itself. Now let's go to uniqueness. Uniqueness, I put it at a 7. Why is it not higher? Well, obviously it's not their IP. This game is not a licensed Pokemon game. If you need any proof that it will never become one, as long as this word right here is on the home screen, you will never actually see this Pokemon game, because that word, it will not fly in Nintendo's eyes. But they bring Pokemon to life. It feels like a Pokemon game. It acts like a Pokemon game. It does more than Pokemon games in a lot of ways. So I gave it a 7 on the uniqueness scale. If this game actually got licensed by Pokemon, which it probably will not happen, but if it did, it would instantly be a 10, but because they are thieves, we are putting it at a 7. And guys, that is where this game really stops being good. Everything after this point is why this game is not much higher. This game would very much be a very, very recommended game in my book if it wasn't for these last two categories, and that is monetization and community. Let's talk about the monetization first. There is no two qualms about it. This is a pay to win game, but most of the time you don't really care. The actual PvP PvP side of things are hidden from you. You are fine with the progression system as it is. It does get harder and harder and harder. It's if you are building out your Pokemon correctly, and because of how hard it actually gets, it allows you to flesh out more and more Pokemon to try to create the right team comps to get through things, which I actually enjoy about it. So if you want to just have like one core team that blasts through all the contents, this is purely a pay to win game. Every time I feel like I understand how much they're trying to soak out of people from a monetization point of view, I find another layer in which a whale could get an advantage. And other than the fact that you can actually get every hero in this game that's an S or below for free, the S plus are actually reserved, it seems like, exclusively for those that pay, but still, anyways, there's a lot you can enjoy as a free-to-play player, and I don't feel like a lot of free-to-play players are going to be complaining about the game for probably the first 2 to 3 months of the gameplay in terms of its monetization cycle. But if you actually dig into the monetization at all and you're willing to spend some money on the game, you will see that those that spend get a huge benefit. So it places really poorly at a 2 out of 10 on the monetization. We've definitely seen worse. This is not Raid Shadow level. This is not Raid Shadow Legends level of pay to win. This is just, you know. And then community. This game has next to no community, but when you're in game, people are helpful. If you go try to find your way to the Reddit or to the Discord or even my Discord to talk about the game, you will find some help. It's not awful, and it is still a new game, so we're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. And we gave it a 2, which is not a very big benefit of the doubt, as you could figure out. But the Facebook is pretty active, and people seem to be talking about it a little bit more than some of the other games that we have at 1, so I gave it a 2. All in all, guys, we here are giving Pocket Incoming a 5.71, and as you would notice by the 2 2s that we got there at the end, this game would have placed a lot higher if it wasn't for the monetization and community. If more of you guys decided to play it, please join server 45 so you can join my guild, Gacha Gang. But for those of you that are like, it's not officially a licensed IP, I'm not afraid, or I'm kind of afraid it's gonna get shut down, I completely get all of those things, but this is a really fun Pokemon game. So if you just want to have a game to enjoy, maybe a game that you really want to challenge yourself from a free-to-play perspective, I think that this is the game for you. And I honestly do recommend this game to you, even with all of the issues presented to it. A 5.71 for a game with that low of a monetization and community is a really strong game. All right, guys, be sure to subscribe. We will be talking about additional games here in the coming week. Peace.